What's going on, guys? It's Money Slayer back with another video. In this one I'm going to give you guys my best Battlefield 2042 settings. I went through a whole bunch of settings on this game. I've watched other people's videos and just tested out a bunch of stuff. Luckily I've been able to play the early access of Battlefield 2042 over the last couple days. So I've been able to have a good taste of what's good, what's bad, all that type of stuff. What settings you should turn off, what settings you should keep on. And I'm just going to show you guys what I've come up with my personal self using. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that are really good at the game and they're going to give you really, really good settings, but some things are going to be different from person to person. So some person might show you a really fast sensitivity, whereas someone like myself is going to give you a somewhat fast but somewhat slow sensitivity. So it's all about personal preference and finding what's best for yourself. So take everything when it comes to sensitivities and stuff with a grain of salt. Do what's ever comfortable for you. So starting in the general tab, everything's basically the what's it called, default, except for camera shake. I put that down to all the way to 50. For right now, I have crossplay off because the connection and stuff has been very iffy. So I turn that off. Also have an error code that's been going on that they have to fix. So all this type of stuff, like I said, this is personal preference for general, but most of mine is just default other than camera shake and crossplay. Jumping over to display, I use a 90 field of view with a maxed out third person field of view. I also keep the ADS field of view on for when I'm magnified in on a site, aiming in my sights and all that. I go with 60 brightness, no motion blur, and then all this stuff turned off, because all this is just going to make the game harder to see certain things, and it's just unnecessary, to be honest. Going to HUD, I show my HUD. I also have HUD motion on. Obviously the camera shake is down. I put soldier compass always on, and then this, like I said, you can put whatever. Um, I'm not sure who it is showed about this colorblind filter, but I'm in agreement in the sense of like the colors. Like you can run custom colors, put them whatever. You have your default colors, which are very, very bright. Like the red is like an orange look. The green is like a bright neon green. But this one right here, you can see kind of dulls the colors to more standard look. So the red is a pure red, green is a pure green, blue is a pure blue. And I think that just looks better, to be honest, for myself. You can do whatever you want on that. Kill log I put on, and then I only put it on squad, just so I'm not getting completely screen covered from my teammates getting kills that aren't my squad, from the other team, all that type of stuff. So I put on squad only. Going into the crosshair settings, we got opacity to 100, projection no. I have a thick crosshair thickness, and I put my crosshair as purple because playing on like the map you see over on the right, the snow, if you have it on just standard white, it's hard to see it in the snow. And then at night, even white's probably the best at night, but I went with a lightest purple so I can still see at night as well. Hit color I go with blue. Headshot color I go with red, and then kill color is green, meaning you got the job done, move along. And then armor is yellow. As for the minimap, I put the opacity to 90, rotate on, 75, 120, and 200. Jumping over to sound, I put the master volume all the way up, turn the music down to 25, sound effects at 100, and in-game announcer at 40, with 3D headphones, audio mix, stereo, and then obviously this decides on what your headset is. I'll probably still test around with this, just to see if there's any other better ones. But so far, 3D headphones has been the best one for me. Hit indicator you can turn off or keep on for Battlefield 2042. I keep it obviously on. And then in-world radio music I keep on as well. Subtitles off. And now we get over to the main settings. Controller schemes, I keep it on default. I know some people like when I play Call of Duty, I play with front triggers, so L1 and R1. I don't know what it is so far on this game. I just feel comfortable shooting with L2 and R2, so I keep it at that. Where I do make the switch here is the soldier buttons. I put on alternate, which puts my slide on the right stick. Which, if you don't know, in this game you can jump and slide and do all that type of stuff pretty easily. So I definitely prefer having the slide and crouch as the right stick, so I don't have to take it off when I'm trying to, slide out of a scenario if I'm getting shot at. So I put that on alternate. Um, this is all personal preference. To be honest, none of this is going to be a difference maker. I basically put mine on like Battlefield 4 stuff. So if you played Battlefield 4, these settings right here would be basically identical to that game. As for global vibration, I got off, and vertical invert look, I mean off. And then on foot, this is where we jump into it. So soldier aim sensitivity, I put mine at a 45. Like I said, I've seen ranges from some people saying play at a 75, all the way down to people playing at like 20s and stuff. For my personal self, so far, 45 or anywhere from 40 to 50 has been kind of my sweet spot. And like I said, that comes down to just a personal preference. Um, since I couldn't decide between 40 and 50, I just put it right in the middle at 45, and so far it's been very well for me. Obviously, off for this, 90 field of view, ADS field of view, keep that on, and then aim assist is up to you. Honestly, right now, there is literally like no aim assist in the game, so putting these on like the full strength and then or changing them to anything else really isn't gonna make a difference. Soldier sprint, I have toggle. Put this off, and then have this the always use traversal sprint. Put that on. Soldier aim sensitivity is the next important thing. I put that 100. This stuff is all personal preference. If you want to auto deploy your parachute, um, quick throw grenades, all that type of stuff. This right here is another important setting. So for myself, the last Battlefield I really kind of played completely was Battlefield 4. Like I actually put time into that game. So something like Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, I put time in, but nowhere near compared to like Battlefield 4. So I got very comfortable with Battlefield 4 settings. And if you read over on the right on this, if you put this all the way down to 0, this aiming acceleration, um, it will be the aiming as if it was Battlefield 4, which, like I said, that's my own personal preference. I enjoy and I feel comfortable with, so I put it all the way down to 0. Um, I think it's standard at 50, so you kind of have in between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. So technically 50 is not bad if you want a mix of both. I just found personally that 0 is the best for me. You're not going to be moving all over the place when you're aiming. This one right here, I put at 180. This has seemed to be the best for me. Uniform soldier aiming I have off because I put these as my custom sensitivity, so 90 for 1 times, and then from 1.25 up to 2.5 I put 85, then 3 times up to 4 times is at 80, and then everything else is at 100 standard. Vehicles, like I said, this is all I don't really use any vehicles, so none of this stuff is even touched for me. Some of it might be a little bit different, like this sensitivity or so right here, but other than that, everything's pretty standard. Controller tuning, once again, if you have some drift in your sticks, you can mess around with this, but this is pretty standard. Big difference I made down here is these two buttons, R2 and L2. I put those all the way down, so it's not, I don't have to press the back triggers down all the way to get that quick response when I'm trying to shoot someone. As soon as I tap that button down and it gets just a little bit of registration, it's fully in. My sights are aimed. I'm able to shoot and everything. So I put both of those down. Accessibility, obviously this is stuff we already went over. That's still standard. All this is still, we already went over. Controller mapping, I don't have anything else. And that's about it. So yeah, these are the settings that work for me. I figured I'd share them and put them out here because, truthfully, I'll probably change these settings at some point, if it be by accident or be I wanted to make the changes, but I also still want to have these settings here for myself to go back on. So obviously having one video is pretty convenient for that. But feel free to use my settings if you want. Um, Use them as like a ground base if you want also, and then just make the changes that you want that feel comfortable for your personal self. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy Battlefield 2042 this year. It's a very solid game. I've been enjoying it. Like I said, I haven't put a lot of time in, but I've put enough in to, get the grasp of the whole game and find what's comfortable for me. But now it's just onto the grind and enjoying the game. So, until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.